Hi, good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. I don't know how much noise is gonna turned off. Okay. Hi, I'm Tubally Thai, for instance, coming from Thailand. A bit noisy here this afternoon. So, for instance, I waited, etc. But for instance, it's kind of like has developed a little bit. So we'll see how we go on. I live in a Thai neighbourhood, etc. So you have to accept a bit of noise, motorbikes and etc. For instance, and dogs barking. But for instance, but it's normally very peaceful. But yeah, it's music, etc. For instance, but it adds to the flavour of the area, what's called where you live. What's it called? Into the people, for instance. But yes, good afternoon. For instance, I'm True Blue Thai. For instance, I live in Thailand, etc. I live in a Thai neighbourhood in Jomtien. For instance, if you don't know me, I talk about city and Thailand, etc. My likes and dislikes about not really dislikes and likes and or my adventures in Thailand. A bit warm today. For instance, I was out running this morning. I did a run and what do you call it? What am I this for? A run and, for instance, wine arm, swim, and wing, wine arm, and for instance, wing, wine arm, and yoga. So, for instance, and it was a sunny morning. It was a sunny morning, even though we said it was going to be cloudy. But as I said, every time I go running, etc., this is what happens. So of course I've got to say, so yeah. So it's basically, for instance, I'm just waiting for the rain to happen. It never happens. But when I come home, etc., the rain happens. So this is the thing. Okay. Anyway, so I hope you're all well. For instance, I hope you're feeling a bit better after Saturday. For instance, it wasn't a particularly good game, and it does feel a bit. You feel you can be a bit negative. Okay, so for instance, about things. Okay, for instance, the lady going past is my neighbour. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah. So, but I think I've given it another couple of days or a couple of hours of going down. What is the thing? Time passes. The longer the time passes, you feel a bit better in yourself. So to me, for instance, and looking at the results overall, with United and Chelsea playing, that boring game yesterday, and with the media bigging up Manchester United, way they got hammering and Chelsea. That was a hell of a boring game yesterday. And the big surprise yesterday was Spurs beating Aston Villa. So, for instance, one of our other rivals, so Chelsea, I wouldn't say a rival, but you never know, you could have gone on a run, drew. Aston Villa lost and lost big. For instance, Arsenal lost. And the only victors were Liverpool, and it appears from my best friend, who's a big Liverpool fan, they weren't particularly great either. So overall, and we've all got Champions League games this week. So overall, the big picture doesn't, the whole taking everything into context, it doesn't feel that bad. So, for instance, to me, for instance, I don't feel that, for instance, bad as it was. What I am, and I listen to a lot of YouTubers, for instance, LB, Johnny, Jesse G, whatever, all, and everybody's a little bit kind of really on the fence on who's fit and who's not. For instance, and this is the biggest thing. We don't know, for instance, who's fit and who's not. For instance, like I know there's some guy to play the ratings, and I didn't do a player ratings. I ended up venting, because I don't know, for instance, if it's right to give, say, Nathan Aki, for instance, a player rating, because I know he was not fit, and it's not. I know you can take it on the game, but I don't think we should give him a bit of a break. So we also have a lot of squirrels, here as well. So just one flew across, making a hell of a mess. For me. Anyway, my sentiments is that, for instance, I can't really, because I don't know who we're going to get. Who's going to fly to to Lisbon. For instance, I don't know for Tuesday's game, so I don't, I know the players took a Jet 2 flight back from Bournemouth back to Manchester, for instance. So I don't know, for instance, who's going to be okay or not. For instance, did Kevin De Bruyne go to kind of like put the fear in Bournemouth? Well, it didn't work, for instance, and he didn't come on, etc. For instance, and didn't look like he was going to come on either. So, for instance, Kyle Walker had played a game. A game. He was harshly criticised again by a lot of the guys, which they're right to. They're right to. To pick, but the appears that, for instance, what from Pep saying, he only trained for 6 minutes. It's like this confusion we're getting from even from Pep at the moment. Who's fit? Who's not? Who's coming in? Who's not? For instance, we don't know. Whether he knows, I don't know. I'm sure he does know a lot more than what he's saying. But for instance, and he's kind of like he is actually saying a few bit more now regarding the injuries. Not no, and a bit more kind of not injuries, but being more forgiven towards the injuries than what before. Not only is he was give his line, which is brilliant, which I love him saying, and more like Klopp used to say or whatever, or Arteta says, "Oh, we got this guy out, we got this guy out." Pep normally says it is what it is. At the moment, etc., he's not saying that. He's for instance, so he's a little bit more, kind of like a bit more saying, "Listen, we're suffering at the moment." So I think he's under great pressure, which doesn't really bode well for his future at City. Whether he's doing it as a kind of like a fight or whatever, he's supposed to be signing a contract. So if he's going to be signing a contract, you feel like he wouldn't be in a more better place. And if he does, and if he's not in a better place because the players are not playing, he's going to feel a bit. Well, is it my time now? Should I leave? Whatever. I don't know. I doubt it. I don't think we're at that stage with Pep, etc. For instance, I think and also for instance, if you look at the big picture again with the other teams, because if Manchester City get all, and I was listening to Hugh and I was listening to a few others, and they were saying like if Manchester City get the team back in the way that we should, in to a good strength, etc., and we play the way Man City plays, we could go from wall this league big time, because there's no real, you've got, there's no real whether Liverpool look the strongest at the moment, okay, and they are getting results, which is what you need to do, and the players are scoring. But for instance, can they do it for this entire season? Arsenal seem to have lost 2 games now. Man City's lost their first game in 33 games, and it's a big crisis. But it's Man City, Arsenal have lost 2 games and drew one. So, for instance, it's the whole thing is a very bit with Arsenal, for instance. But could they come back? I'm sure they could. Chelsea, the way they played, for instance, with United, again, everything. And who else have you got? Spurs. Spurs are going to be Spursy, aren't they? You really can't see Spurs doing anything. So, for instance, who's our typical rivals? Like at the moment, etc. It's going to be Liverpool. So, but we'll see. But it's going to be interesting. I had to like one. It's today's Monday. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon here in Thailand. For instance, what's it called? 30 plus degrees. Anyway, so and I haven't. We'll get to know tomorrow about is it today about the press conference. I'm not sure. Okay, so like when you're so far ahead, etc., you kind of like, oh, what? I know it's a 3 a.m. kickoff for me, and so have a bit of sympathy for me. Where's going my eyes? Yeah. So I've got to take care of myself in the sun. I don't put on sun cream or moisturising cream. I put a bit on since I come back. But for instance, it was a good run today, for instance, but to do it directly in the sun. And yeah, and there's the old motorbikes, okay, being, up and down the circumvent there, which is absolutely madness, because you're doing it for about 10 seconds and you have to stop. So, it's just male, macho, come to Thailand, rent a motorbike and go crazy on the streets. Madness, it really is. It's so inconsiderate the people, for instance, kids taking the women, taking the families to school, etc. For instance, when people go, whatever, and you got some foreigner, for instance, flying around in his motorbike. Absolutely madness. I know the Thais do it as well, Okay, but I do see a lot of foreigners. And we had one like yesterday, for instance, called being an idiot. And so, anyways, enough of that. But no, for instance, I don't feel as bad with the result, even though the performance was probably about the worst performance of the season. The last 10 minutes will show where we were, but why the hell did it take it 10 minutes? Uh, yeah, so for instance, I'm give up Bournemouth and give it the due. For instance, they play very well. So, and again, it's the Premier League. There's no such thing as an easy game. Um, so, for instance, but it is concerning about the injuries and the fact that we're picking them up so frequently and who they are. So, for instance, the important players, and the absolute must to open our checkbook in January, for instance, and get a midfielder in at least. Zubamendi, as I got as the highlight for a lot of City fans. I think there's a guy called Rossi, for instance, the guy City are looking at, but there's also the names Musiala. For instance, I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's going to sign against for Bayern again. For instance, a new Florian Wirtz. So, for instance, at Leverkusen, etc. I don't know, is it Leverkusen? Yeah, for instance, I don't know, but we'll see. It's going to be. It's going to be. But I do feel. I'm doing this video today because I feel a bit better today than I did yesterday. And I hope for instance, you got the impression that, for instance, I was a bit down because that's what Manchester City do when you um, uh, bleed blue. This is how you feel. So I do feel a bit better better now, having seen the results of what the other teams did. So for instance, and yeah, so I feel a bit better. But again, you can never really tell about about what's going on. Um, for instance, and yeah, so we got to look at the bigger picture. It'd be nice to get a more clarity on who's fit, when they're coming back, for instance, it'd be more better if you get more clarity, for instance, on the players, and for instance, yeah, um, but at the moment, etc. For instance, we're not getting that from Pep or from anywhere. And I'm sure when the journalists have their press conferences, I'm sure they'll be asking stupid questions, not relevant. I did see Stevie Nicol, for instance, on ESPN. Oh, I am not feeling a bit sorry for Manchester City. What a shock! What a shock! I didn't bother listening to the others. What's it called? Sky Sports or talk crap, etc. For instance, because I'm damn certain they, for instance, what's it called? Yeah, for instance, they're not going to feel sorry for Man City. Nobody does. What's it called? Nobody understands that. Every country, we've got 1 million players. Yeah. So, but I just like being more clarity from the club about, for instance, what we, for instance, who's fit and who's not, who's available, who's carrying a knock. I'd rather have that, to be more transparent up front. I know we don't want to say too much to the teams we're playing, but it'd been, for instance, a bit more openness, etc. would feel a bit better for me. For instance, um, yeah, but other than that, for instance, I do feel a bit better, for instance, especially after watching United's game yesterday, which was 1 o'clock in the morning by the time we finished. God, I'm like, I'm going to have past one. I've got to be up for about 7 o'clock to do my run because it's otherwise it's like running in 30 or 40 degrees. Anyway, yeah, and I was up at 7 ton. But United, that game was boring, but it just showed you exactly where that level is, and it did happen to listen to about 5 minutes of talk crap, etc. For instance, so with the United fans coming up and just to see what they make of the whole thing. And in the first game, oh, we should have kept Ten Hag. Oh, we need to keep, for instance, Van Nistelrooy because he's doing okay. And he's putting the cheer. Van Nistelrooy is doing what one for Van Nistelrooy because he wants to keep his job. So, for instance, because he knows he's going to be out, wants to go because this guy's trying to bring his back. This Amarin's going to bring his backroom staff. So, of course, he's going to be there. Fans, how are you doing, fans? Say hello to the players. Yes, exactly. So, yeah. But yeah, but I said like Chelsea. I thought I was disappointed in Chelsea, for instance. with that game. But the Spurs game I haven't seen. Don't know how Aston Villa got knocked 4-1, but that was a shocker. Even though they were 1-0 up as well, and half time. So that was a shocker and a half. But again, it's the Premier League. That's the reason why the Soccer 6 is so difficult because nobody wins. I remember we used to play it many, many times and kind of think, what? Yeah. I think, God damn it, and so that's the reason why I don't bet on football because quite honestly, especially the Premier League, in the, for instance, I remember the what's it called? The final game of the season was the Aguero moment, and I got to the grounds so early, for instance, went into Meredith and oh yes, and stopped and having a chat with West Ham fans and yeah. Just think all we need to do is just turn up, done the hard work now. All you turn up, win the game, boom. Zabaleta scores. Oh, brilliant, awesome. We're on our way, party time. Where we're going for party, where we're doing this, what we're doing this afterwards. And then suddenly 2-1 down. Oh, you're joking. So when Dzeko scored, etc., that goal is the goal. For instance, I sat down and I'm like, I don't want to listen. I don't want to. I don't. So because I thought it was all done, and then I can remember because I was on ground level, and I was sat, and a lot of City fans were leaving and everything like that, and suddenly boom, and and I was thinking, oh, what am I going to say to the United fans on Monday tomorrow? And, oh, I got to work. And then suddenly, Aguero, Balotelli, Aguero. And then it was like, and I still sat down. I was going, honestly, I didn't move for a minute because the guy behind me, for instance, he came up, and me, I'm like, yeah. So, for instance, even today, I still don't believe it. And a friend of mine, my best friend at the time, he was called. For instance, we went to a party afterwards, and then we went back to the. For instance, so we went to this party, and everybody said, "Hey, won the league, blah, blah," whatever. But we still didn't believe it. We still didn't believe it until we need to see the game again. So we went to our local pub, which is full of United fans, blah blah blah, etc. And then we waited in that pub, for instance, and it was really, really quiet. There was nobody in really. It's not so many because fans didn't want to come out because of City winning, but apart from a few, you're not going to win it again. You're never going to be as good as us. You're never going to be. You're never going to win it twice in a row. Yeah. So much you don't know. Anyway, so for instance, and we had to sit there. We had to sit there and wait until match of the day before that Aguero. What's it called? Aguero. And suddenly, it's just amazing. Yeah. So and then we kind of like, yeah, we did win it. So, it was a hell of a game, for instance. But this is the Premier League football. That's the reason why you love it. That's the reason why I love Man City. And it's because there's what happens. But and it's you never give up. And I don't. That's some. I think yesterday's video I was just talking about when I was watching Arsenal fans and the way they chastise their players and the club. I say I'm finished with you now. I'm done. I've had enough. You're crap. He's rubbish. Damn. It's quite a way through the season. For instance, and you've lost the game. There's still many, many twists and turns. City lost, but you still sat there, like, I don't understand how you can be called a football fan. It's all right to criticise. I have no problem criticising players, a performance or something, because Gundo, one of my favourite players, so I don't want to chastise, but to a point where you really, really call players, for instance, and it's so much by some fans. And yes, you can wear your heart on your sleeve and you stand, but I totally understand. But when you really, really calling somebody out, really are, for instance, even at Calvin Phillips is worse, Balotelli is worse. For instance, I've seen a load of half-hearted Man City in our time. I have certainly what's it called? But just that, for instance, you say it's just not worked out, and you just move on from that. You don't sit there and talk them club, etc. For instance, and again, where it was I followed Man City, we were in the League Two, for instance, and we were losing every week. It was funny. It got to a point where it was quite. So and so I'm not going to criticise. City, for instance, and we know I feel a bit better from yesterday, from Saturday. Time is a good healer, and go for a swim in the sea, for instance, makes the help. Being in Thailand, etc., helps. For instance, but I am not going to criticise. I feel better because I'm watching the United game and Aston Villa losing. So I think it's not been that bad of a weekend. It's just that I'd love to know a bit more clarity about the injuries and who's coming and who's going to Lisbon, etc. For instance, again, I prefer just take a weekend side to Lisbon, take the EDS, etc. For instance, we lose the game, let's lose the game. We can still pick up points, later in the season. PSG are not good. They've got to come to the Etihad. Juventus, etc. Still think they can do that. We've got plenty of time to get into that top eight. So, for instance, but we'll see. Anyway, uh, right. So I'm gonna listen to what the guys have to say. I'm gonna have a quick chat with you, for instance, and see how we are with the injuries, etc. For instance, we hear anything new. For instance, any news what's to go which what's go I've heard or anything or whatever you might heard of. Or if anybody knows anything that I know, I can let you know. And a lot of the news is coming out. I'm in land of nod, being so far ahead in time wise. Anyway, but you know, well, I'm gonna love you and leave you. For instance, what's it called? I was thinking about a catchphrase to say, but love you and leave you maybe. What's it called? Before I sign off. And yeah, and sorry, Cap from Thailand. And if you're coming over here, take care. Bring insurance, health insurance. Don't be crazy. We're gonna ride them out. Don't get sucked into bills. It's a business, and they're out for your money. For instance, and it's a business and business over here, and people are out for money. For instance, but if you come in here, be smart. Think with this, not this guy down here. Okay, okay, but otherwise, just enjoy yourself. Take care, for instance, and I'll speak to you soon. Sorry, Cap.